Hello friends, welcome to Houdini in VFX Pipeline Class 1A. My name is Rajiv Sharma and I will be your instructor in this video. So let's see what we have in this video is. We will understand the user interface of Houdini. We'll go through the shelves and find out what interesting over there. We'll check out the top level menu also. We'll understand what is the operators in Houdini and we'll see how we can customize Houdini. So to start with, you can first go to Houdini website, that is sidefx.com. In sidefx.com you can see this download option and here you can click on download. So make sure you have your login account over there, and if you have, you can just log in and password, and if you don't, you can sign up. I already have signed in, so as I can see here, the download options are there. I can see which version, which platform you want to use. You can select here. So for in my case, I select Linux and CentOS, and here I can start download and the software will be there. Then let's move to software, Houdini application software. Alright, so right now it's in select mode. To orbit or rotate your viewport, you can press space and your left mouse button, so you can rotate that. It's same as Maya. In Maya you use Alt, and in Houdini you use space key. Alright, so for maximize you can press Control B for ball B. Alright, so Control B again to in the previous state. So what this is our default view of Houdini window, and this is your shelf. Here you can see the predefined things. If you want to create a box, you can click and it will ask you the location where you want to put. So if I say put it here, let's take new, this one, put it here. But what if I don't want to place somewhere? I want this to generate an default location, so you can control click, then this box will generate in the center of the grid. Same will apply for the sphere, whether it is sphere or torus. If you press control and click, it will generate or it will create on the center of the grid. So with this, in create panel you can see this basic primitive types are there, and you can draw curve. Alright, and here you can see this curves are generated. You can take circle. Your all basic primitives are there, so it's pretty good to start with that. In modify you can find some important tools like mirror, copy parent, follow path, look at, combine. One thing, if I say, if suppose let's say delete is here, we can use this these things which is in shelf in nodes also. So like say if you press tab and here if you type delete, don't be confused in this. What I did here, I just want to show you, because we are talking about shelves. So whatever in shelf you are seeing here, it's just a shortcut for this node. So if you click this indirectly create a node like that. So we'll understand in depth what this node is when we talk about this scene editor or this network pane. So let's move with the model. In model you can find your revolve, extrude, sweep, boolean, convert, reverse, pretty much all modeling related options. Same with polygon. Here poly extrude, bevel, poly edge, deform, you can find twist, deformer, bend, taper, pretty much straightforward. Here textures, UV things are there. For characters, bones, rig for riggers, yeah, we have a lot of predefined presets. And so one thing I want to tell you about this shelf tool is basically this shelf is entirely this is written in Python. So if we want to see anything behind that, like what codes is going on, you can right click and edit tool, and if you go to script, it will tell you what script is actually going on behind this tool. So all the tools which you are seeing here is actually a Python code. So Python is very important for this software, not for this, for every 3D packages like Maya, Houdini, Nuke, everything. Python is important to do this. Alright, so let's move to the topic. This side, right side, we can see some interesting tools for FX. So these are the custom, you can ignore that, but drive simulation is something which is related to particles like drag forces, fan forces. These are the like predefined, as I told here, predefined forces you can use, but mostly we create in nodes because Houdini is procedural tool. So we'll create procedures and we'll follow procedures. You can find camera and light tools here, lights and camera panel. So all types of lights are there, environment light, sky. In particles you can see this all source particle, it's just same as emit from object, and you can create like surface of particle, like mesh of the particles with that force field, and you can see there are a lot of more options for collisions, instance. You can just replicate the points to any geometry. Rigid bodies you can find here, rigid bodies, ground plane structure. We'll go through that one by one. Just see that what is the shelf. Pyro tools, you can see explosions, fireball, and if I say explosion, these are ready. Like if we just want to see this, like go to model, I'll show you quickly, but don't be confused, we will discuss this. I'll explain you all of this in detail. This is very basic introduction. So if you click, I select this sphere and I click explosion. After that, this Python and some scripts are evaluating, and basically my explosion is ready. Yes, it's ready for use. I can just play, and this is ready. So like that you can try flames, below smoke, candle smoke, these all are ready. You can just place object and just click on this, so this will set up everything for you. Of course, if you want to tweak and if you want to create a desirable effect, you have to go inside this network and find out how you can manipulate things better according to your shots requirement or type of effect you are doing. So we will understand things, how things going inside this, like how this heat forces and everything combine and make a effect. So for starting period, you guys can play with this. Don't go inside this, we will go. All right, so this is the shelf. Now let's move to this top level menu, file, nothing interesting, and these options are related to Houdini digital assets that we called HDA. Basically in Houdini we can combine nodes and we can save those nodes as a OTL. OTL stand for operator type library, which you can create here, like new operator type, it's VFX type. We will go through that. So just for basic, if you want to understand that, from Houdini we can build digital assets that is called Houdini digital assets, that will save in a file format that is OTL, and that OTL stand for operator type library. Those library can be loaded from here. So basically when you select here, you can load your OTLs, as you can see here. Every node you are seeing here in your scene view or in your nodes, that those are OTLs. Okay, that is saved in your HFS directory in OPT. This is for Linux path. For Window user, it's in program files. Okay, so in edit, pretty much same thing, nothing interested. But for preferences, you can go to journal user interface. You can select your global UI size, but one thing which I like here is cancel this color setting. So yeah, I like this Houdini dark, but if you want you can use either Pro or Houdini light. So yeah, basically this is the default theme for Houdini. I like this dark. And for viewport also, if you want to change your viewport, you can press D, and if you go through this, go to background and change. By default it's light, you can change it to dark. So D, background, dark. So now my theme is completely dark. You can save as default and close this. In render, you can create mantra node. Houdini ships with mantra, it's very good renderer. And scheduler, if you are rendering an image, that will comes inside this. I'll show you this. So let's see, if you start any render, that render process will start here. So as you can see here, as our render is going on, and we can see the process here, and if I want to stop this, I can kill this. So if I kill that render process, it's show me the PID. PID is process ID. When this rendering is start, what is the output driver? Output driver is, if I select the ROP, don't go inside this. ROP is something we'll discuss later, but this is the rendering process manager for Houdini. Inside Houdini you can manage that. Anyway, if you are in Linux, you can also find out this process using in console, and how you press top, and top will show you the processes, so you can find out the PID over there. So other than that is mplay is a inbuilt media player for load image sequences. So when you start render, this is actually mplay, and here also you can see something. You can play with gamma, brightness, contrast. This is just for viewport visibility. Yes. Windows, here you can change your desktop. Like if you want to animate something, or if you are an animator, you can choose this. So what this will do, you can find out one camera view and one perspective view. So and here the channel editor, it's same as graph editor in Maya, so you can select keys and animate things. Pretty much everything's same. And here it's like outliner. Build is default default layout. Image is when you want to composite something. So yeah, so this is compositing network. I will show you this compositing things and the scene level, why this thing is changing. You can see here if it is compositing here, and in build it's in scene here. Why it is changing like that? So I'll show you that. Just wait. Mostly I use this one, which I created for myself. This is for Python scripting. So whenever you want to write a tool, custom tool, you can use this Python shell here. Like it's ready. Print hello. Let's print hello. Yeah. Desktop, you can save whatever layout you like. You can create your own layout and you can save as yourself. All right, so nothing interested here. This is custom tool which I created for MX Studio. We will discuss this later. Now jump back to scene view. Alright, so if you can see here this little triangle with round, this is paint tab operations actually. So here you can set the paint. So let's see if currently it's a scene view, and if I want to change this to Python editor, so Python shell, so I can select this and click on Python shell. So now my scene view is actually changed to the Python shell. Or if you want to change it to network or parameters, you can change it to parameter. So but let's go back to scene view. So it's changed that. If you see this, and yeah, go back to this triangle round icon. Here you can split this also. split left right and top bottom. So let's see, we'll split this uh, left and right. So this screen is now splitted, and I can use this as my Python shell and this one as my scene view. Alright, so just for your information, like how you can use this to create your own custom layout for Houdini, it's up to you. Wherever you need, you can split it out, and if you want, you can use split top bottom. So this you can change to your scripting editor, and you can type your code, and you can see your stuff, how things working on over there. All right, so even for maximize, you can use this, that is Control R, the shortcut command for that. And here you can select your channel editor. It's the same graph editor, channel editor. You can select keys, manipulate keys, add tangents. Like here you can see the animation thing. All right, render view is for rendering. If you want, you can use this as a IPR render. So if you hit render from here, most of the time, if you find like previously there was toolbox, but that was now invisible, you can see this little triangle icon. You can click here, now it will come back again, and if you click here again, it will disappear. So click on that, it will see here. And if you render from here, this render icon, this will open mplay and your render will start. This is the another way to render things. Mostly it's preferable because it's IPR based interactive rendering. But what is the difference between this? Both are rendering same. When you execute this mplay render from here, this is the launch command in a separate thread. So when this rendering is in process, you can move your viewport, you can start working on your scene, and you can continue with your scene. So it will not stop you to work. There is another function also for rendering, is this scene rendering. So if you click on this, just select your area which you want to render, and it will start render on viewport. So let's see. So here you can see, we see the rendering on viewport. So make sure it's depend on your graphic card. If you don't have good graphic, then it might not work because it's based on GL. Here you can find options here in viewport. It's depend what object is selected. So right now it's render region is selected, but if I select more, if I select this select mode, wow, select mode, good, yeah, select, then it is gone. Or if you select the move, rotate, scale. So let's understand the keys for move, rotate and scale. T for translate, T for translate, R for rotate, E for scale. And for scaling, you can see this gizmo here. If you select this and increase, so left mouse button I pressed here and I can increase that. same thing apply. But if you want to scale that in a particular direction, then you can select your fluid and click inside this arrow and you can select. So it's very handy, pretty much easy. So this side, yes, we can start from this. This is what you want to look at: geometry, camera. This we'll see when we work on proper shot. This is what exactly you are selecting, like primitives, edges, points. So let's see if we have. I'll reset this, discard and new, then we'll understand what is the points. Oh, alright, so take new torus and then we'll see this option. So by default it's primitive. So let's see if you want to select points. So what you can do, you can select here, right click here, points, and you can see the points are visible here. The points and vertices, you can say this, and if you press T, it will give you the translate thing and you can manipulate that. Oh, select, manipulate, or you can select bunch of points and you can manipulate that. So like that you can select the edges and vertices, breakpoint, point group, edge group. Okay, now let's move back to primitive. This is for select menu, can select that. Okay, alright, so now if you want to make play blast, how you can do that, I'll show you here. So let's see, if I want to make a play blast, I can click here. So this play blast is actually in Houdini, we'll say Flipbook. Click here, Flipbook, and it'll ask you what is the start frame and end frame. So for now I will make only 10 frame play blast and accept. So here you can see this is our play blast. I can play from here and it will create image sequence and load that in mplay. We can save that these images also, and that we'll see. Okay, so yes, the play blast is or this flip is very important when you do the fluid simulations or very heavy things, animation things, and if you want to see in the real time frame FPS, real frame FPS, frame per seconds. Okay, real time. Alright, so this side, these are for snap, grid snap, edge snap, all the snap tools here, lock camera here. So let's see, if you want to create a new camera, you can create from here. And okay, let's see, if I change my viewport, I can see the camera I created here. Now again go back to camera 1 from here, the look is still same, but I want to change the camera with this when I orbit the viewport. So to get that thing done, select the camera and click on this camera and lock. So that will lock your camera. So when you rotate your viewport, your camera will rotate according to that. So you can change the view as you want, and after that you unlock that. So with that you got the main camera animation or the look of camera done pretty easily. Okay, now go back to this. I will make a grid here. The reason is we want to see some lighting options here. So lights under, create a point light and one spotlight. So same thing we can apply for spotlight. You go to camera, here you can select the camera, you can go to look at the light, and if I select spotlight, so my view will change. And if I lock this with my viewport, so if I move that, the spotlight behave as my viewport change. You can see this. Now go back to camera 1 and yes, you can select your lights and change the parameters here. This is the parameter window. So whatever things you selected, this is your point light, this is your spotlight. So if you selected your spotlight, and in light panel you can change the attributes. You can increase intensity, decrease intensity, enable or disable lights here. Enable in viewport, you can control the light if you want to see that in viewport or not. If I say yes, enable that, reduce little bit of light. Why we are seeing the light on viewport, and if you don't have that much heavy graphic card, so you can turn it off. You can use just simply flat shaded. This is flat shaded, and this is only diffuse, just rough viewport without shadows and all. And this is with lights, so whatever lights are on in viewport they will show you. And this is lights and shadows. Here you can see with diffuse, specular, you can turn it on according to whatever you want to use. Here you can use the ambient occlusion also. So if you click that, and yeah, if you click on this, you'll see the better depth option, shadow option here. Press D, and there are an option here, if I remember, viewport, viewport ambient occlusion. I think no, sorry, I was confused. That was in Maya. Alright, so yeah, this is the, if you want to see a stereo anaglyphic views, you can find out here in stereo panel also, we'll see. And and let's see if we want to see points in viewport. Like for that you can click on this, so that will show you where are the points in your geometry. For now I'll just turn it off, the lights and shadows, so I can see the points in my viewport. So here you can see the points. Let's see if I want to see the normals. So you can click on this. This will show you the object point normal. Okay, So wherever is the point, it will show you the point normal. This is for velocity point trail. If you have moving points, it will show you that. And if I want to know the uh, point ID, so I can click on this. It will give me the point ID on wherever the point is, so I can see the point number. This is very useful. Maybe you will not understand why this point ID is there and what we can do with this point number, but when you do some complex effects, mostly with particles, then you will find this is very useful settings, and you will visualize your custom attributes also with that. So yeah, this is very important. You should know that these options are here. With that, you can see your primitives normal, where is your faces are. So if you click on that, it will show you the face normal, and the face primitive ID also you can get with this. So this is also a very important part, right? And if here are mostly if you have some custom attributes and you want to visualize that, that is for this. So for me, like if you want to visualize the velocity up vector and age, normalize age, that you can visualize from here. So we'll discuss that also in later. So that is actually big chapter, how to create attributes and how to visualize that. So for basic, you don't have to go to that. That will cover, don't worry. What else you see in Viewport? Okay, let's see what is this. Here you can see parameter settings here. So with this you can edit the parameter. So let's see, if I am in transform parameter, and if I want to add my custom attribute here, so with this I can edit parameter interface, and let's see if I want to add a ramp, or just I want to create a integer. So let's say this is my custom. This is my custom parameter, and if you apply that, you can see your custom parameter is built here, and you can connect this custom parameter value with some another value. So let's see, if I want to connect this to the y-axis of this sphere, so when I change this custom parameter, my sphere will go to up direction. I can copy this parameter and select sphere, and in translate y you can paste copied relative reference. Then now you can come back where your custom parameter is. Just see, with that you created your custom parameter which is linked to another object. So this is a very powerful feature of Houdini. With that you can do lot of tool building and different types of assets you can build with this option. So another thing in this is you can edit comments here. I'll show you here. Alright, so for add script, yeah, this is important. I'll tell you this first. Here if you enter any expression, so by default Houdini is having two expression languages. One is edge script, that is Houdini inbuilt edge script, that is based on VFX vector expressions, and second one is the Python. So Houdini and Python. Which one is you are executing in your attribute field? You have to mention that. So let's say if you are entering $FF or $F. $F is actually Houdini script command, H script command. So if you change here Python, it will say this is error, because Python $F have nothing. Okay. So now let's change to H script, and if you created any channel, or as you can see this is green, you can right click and delete channel, so it will be the back default position. Alright, so light shadow parameter, so these are the parameters you can see here. Now let's take a new scene and start with scene view. So as first I can tell you, this is network view, where we are in network view, and here if you press tab, then you will get the menu. With tab you can get the menu, and if you go to the all, and you can see here all the nodes which are available here. These nodes are actually digital assets, which is either it's come from Houdini software by default, or you can your own created OTLs. It doesn't matter, okay, but these all are operator type library. So let's start first with geo. So right now I am in scene level, and if I jump inside this, so I will be in geometry level, and geometry level is called SOP, that is called surface operator. So here we are talking about we are SOP. So we are at SOP level. SOP means surface operator. If you press tab here, you will find all the surface operators. Definitely you will not get these operators inside ROP or any other operators, because these operators especially designed for work inside surface operator. So in surface operator or in geometry mode, you can see if you want extrude, or so you can tap and start typing EX, and you will get your extrude. Or if you want to create sweep, you will get your sweep. So all the geometry attributes or all the surface operator attributes you can get here. Like that we have ROP, and that is render operator. So if you press tab and type ROP, then you will got the ROP network, and when you go inside, you can press tab and all. Here you will get all the rendering operators. So let's see, if you want to texture 3D texture generator, Alembic exporter, or offensive render farm software integrated operator, HQ render, HQ simulation, a mantra you can get from here, all renderman and renderman archive, real flow mesh exporter, real flow mesh particle exporter, real flow SD exporter. So whatever operators are related to rendering or render node. So let's see, if you say that if we are talking about the particle exporter or a alembic generator, that is not actually a rendering job, it's a caching job. But for that, actually we use the Houdini batch process. So that's why it's come under ROP. So if you want, you can, if click on that alembic, here you generate alembic. Here your output is going like output.abc, but to execute that you have to execute the render button. Okay, so don't be confused. ROP is render output. Then we'll go to chops. Chops is channel operators. Here you can get all the settings related to animation. All right, so yes, you can see here as what are the operators which are related to if you see this channel editor here. All right, and also you can find out the motions and audio related things here. Okay, audio in. Now let's go back. Now what else is obviously DOP. DOP is dynamics operator. DOP, and before that Houdini 13 there was POP also, but in Houdini 13's DOPs and POPs are actually merged. So all the dynamics, whether it is particles, fluids, or bullet solver, any solver, you can get here. So this is the interesting tools, set of tools. Here you can find your different types of solvers. Like if you want to see what solvers are there, you can type solvers. So these both all are sort of blend solver, bullet solver, cloth solver, finite element solver, pyro solver, rigid body solver. There are bunch of solver, Voronoi fracture solver. It's very powerful simulation tools we have in this dynamics tab. So we'll go through that in more depth, but you can play around with that. You can just find out how this tool, what are the operators contained in this, because it's very huge. You can see this, it's very huge set of library which is ready for use. All right, so this is DOP, and yeah, mostly for basic introduction, you can understand that what is this shelf, what is this viewport. You can change these viewports, panel, pane. We actually say there's pane. You can change that to tree view or network view. Here it's the UI of Houdini is very good. Actually, you can change it according to your personal taste. Yeah, I think this is enough for a basic introduction. I know there will be a lot of things which I missed or I didn't cover, but I'm sure I will cover those as we go through this pipeline lecture. In next couple of videos will go through basics, and after that more and more complex stuff will be there. So mostly we will cover the FX stuff for Houdini, like how to create our personal like personalized solver, custom solvers, and some dynamics things, and how we can use the existing solvers to create good effects. And of course we will use some custom tools development techniques also. So like how we can do some programming inside that. So if you want to see this, there is actually codes going on behind that. So all right friends, I know it's very long, big, boring lecture, but I want to wrap all the small, mainly repetitive things here. So um, uh, I'm sure the next videos will not be that much big, because I like small lectures, but point to point knowledge should be given. Okay. All right friends, so bye, see you in next lecture. Bye bye.